Welcome to Visiting Foreign Power. I'm your host, Burr Stewart, and this is part 24 of my continuing operations series on the Burrlington Northern Railroad, set in 1973, but today visited by two locomotives from the British Isles. These were brought over to us by my friend Robin Peel, who grew up in England, and these are Bachmann locomotives built for OO scale, which of course is the same as HO track. We're going to give a new meaning to the term foreign power today, because we're going to have these two visiting locomotives conducting a few simple operations here on the Burrlington Northern. I hope you enjoy it. The first step is to clean the track to make sure that we don't have any unnecessary glitches. The tips of the fingers are fine for this. Robin decided to start with the steam locomotive, so we're going to run it around from Bayside to Inner Bay in Seattle, and then pick up some cars from the Inner Bay Yard. That's our plan anyway. It's always good to have a plan. Have I ever mentioned that?
Very good, very good. Thank you. That seems to be running fine now.
You'll notice there's no headlight. Apparently the British locomotives didn't use headlights. I'm not sure I understand that, but that's the way it goes. Well, we've come all the way around to Inner Bay, and now we're backing onto a track to pick up some random cars just to test out the pulling power of the steam engine. We didn't meticulously clean either the track or the locomotive driving wheels, so occasionally we did have some glitches, as you saw there. Unlike the prototype, Robin did fit this steam engine with Katy couplers, so we were able to hook it right up to our train. Nice looking locomotive there. I know it doesn't belong on the layout, but you know, you got to have fun sometimes. Model railroading is fun. Did you get that memo? The irony is not lost on me that the first car is from the Great Northern, which of course was also the name of a famous British railroad. Our drive wheels are slipping a little bit here, but he was able to make it over this minor grade. As usual, Mount Rainier gives its blessing over the goings-on. Now our train is rolling through the Stacy Street Yard in South Seattle. Somewhere along here, we found out later we lost 4 cars at the end, which Robin had to go pick up using the diesel. We'll get to that in a minute. This is the Royal Brome crossing in South Seattle, near the Stadia. Of course, at the time of this layout, it was the Kingdome. That newer Southern Pacific tunnel motor is a stand-in for an older one, but I digress. Now you can see our train is ending up with a wood chip hopper, which wasn't the way we left the yard, so we'll see what happens about that. The Milwaukee F7 crew is just as surprised as I am to see this engine here. Another minor grade to tackle, but we seem to have some steel wheel on rail adhesion. Very nice. The other side of this tunnel, of course, is the entrance to the Bayside Yard in Everett, which is where we started. But we are missing 4 cars, so we're going to have to figure out what to do about that. The answer is to bring out the diesel, take it back to Stacy, and bring the 4 cars back around. This gives us a chance to use both of our British engines in one little operating session. A real bonanza. In the foreground, you'll notice a new Riverossi Heisler locomotive from the Westside Lumber Company. Another foreign locomotive today that we're not going to play with, however. Well, here comes our diesel coming in to pick up the missing cars in the Stacy Yard. Bang! Robin also installed Katie couplers on this one. If you're new to this channel and haven't watched my other dozens of videos, this is not really an operating session. This is just a couple of grown men playing with trains. Normally they're a lot more complicated, and we use car cards and waybills, and we have a dispatcher telling us who has permission to use what track, and the fun goes on and on. But today we're taking a break and relaxing. Hopefully you find it relaxing too. Except for the shaky parts of the camera work. Sorry about that. Well, instead of heading off to Tacoma and Portland staging, we're taking the secret cutoff back up to the Everett Bayside Yard, which allows us to do continuous running on days like this when we're not having a formal operating session. Well, our plan is to drop these 4 cars on the main, remove the diesel locomotive, and then back the steam-powered train onto these 4 cars, putting the whole train back together again, and taking everything back to Inner Bay Yard where we started. You gotta love that horn. You don't have anything like that here in the States. According to Robin, this locomotive is a British Rail Class 47, number 47, space 012. one of the most ubiquitous British rail locomotive classes of the 1960s, some of which are still in service today. You just have to ignore the unrealistic look of the Katy coupler. I think Robin just slowed that locomotive down so that we could hear those brakes one more time. The sound is very realistic, and it comes from the ESU DCC decoder that is on this locomotive. We just wanted you to hear the shutdown sequence. All right, now we can back our train onto those 4 cars and get back to Inner Bay. Again, according to Robin, this steam locomotive by Bachmann is an OO scale Patriot class, originally built as number 5538 for the LMS Railway and named Giggleswick, a well-known Yorkshire boarding school, which I believe he attended. Or maybe he just lived in that area. Something like that. Well, we hitched up our 4 cars and we should be ready to go. On the little tripod there, you can see the Acaso action cam that I've been shooting some of this footage with. All aboard! That group of dancers at the station are asking, what was that just went by? Even though OO scale is slightly larger than HO scale, Robin and I were very pleased that we didn't find any clearance problems running these 2 slightly larger scale locomotives on the layout. Passing underneath the Emerson Street Bridge, we glide into the yard and prepare to back our cut of cars onto the track that we got it from. Pay no attention to all those glorious Burrlington Northern diesels on the right side there. This is British Day. I'm not sure why we're pulling past the yard and backing into it. We should have pulled into the yard in an empty track and just uncoupled the cars standing there. But anyway, hindsight is 20/20. The next time you see this scene in a video where those fences are leaning against the wall, there's going to be a new Kubota steel backdrop, which Bill Messicar is working on right now. So you can look forward to that. Kubota Steel was a family-owned steel business in Seattle for many years, and we're looking forward to serving it with gondola cars of sheet steel for many years to come. The astute among you will notice that those oval center beam plywood cars are much too new for the 1973 Burrlington Northern era. I urge you to overlook that, as I urge you to overlook the fact that we probably wouldn't have seen British locomotives here either. It's been a fun day. I'm grateful to Robin for bringing these engines over, and all my friends in the UK and Australia who have enjoyed these videos, as well as my own British heritage. So it's fun to fool around occasionally with something off the beaten track.
Yeah, this one is a little bit low, that coupler.
Well, I guess a British invasion today is now in its final retreat as our steam engine heads off into the distance. I hope you've enjoyed this brief respite from the otherwise intense, complex switching operations that we do here on the Burrlington Northern, and I hope you'll join me for many more operations videos in the future. In the meantime, this has been your host, Burr Stewart, wishing you much fun with trains.
I'll just let that run back around to Bayside, I guess.